Okay, I'd like to call the December 10th, 2014 meeting of the Wheaton Park District Board of Commissioners to order. Mike, please take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaft.
Here.
Commissioner Schobel.
Here.
Commissioner Morrill.
Here.
Commissioner Mee.
Here.
Commissioner Hodgkinson.
Here.
President Kelly.
Here. First order of business. Mike, I understand we have a presentation tonight.
We do. Samuel, why don't you join us up here, and Rob. As we do many times, the Parks and Planning Department has worked again with an Eagle Scout candidate. In this case, this is for our friends at home. Samuel S. Bedrosian, Troop 23. Samuel, and by the way, congratulations on achieving your Eagle Scout. Samuel developed a plan and organized volunteers to clear invasive plants from the campground at the Off the Street Club that is adjacent to Arrowhead Golf Club. This camp allows inner-city youth to experience nature, and this project created a much more desirable environment. The project required cutting and chipping large amounts of brush while contending with poison ivy and numerous mosquitoes. Dated this 19th day of November, 2014. John F. Kelly, President. Congratulations.
Thank you for everybody who helped me do this. I wouldn't have done it without you. My dad,
Community input. Donna, anybody signed up for community input? Nope. Okay, the consent agenda, I'm going to ask to have item 6 removed from the consent agenda and handled as a separate item. Otherwise, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 5 as presented. Approval of the disbursements totaling $1,006,742.22 for the period beginning November 12, 2014, ending November 29, 2014. Approval of the November 3, 2014 Finance Subcommittee minutes. Approval of November 17, 2014 Finance Subcommittee minutes. Approval of November 19, 2014 regular board meeting minutes, and approval of the December 3, 2014 Finance Subcommittee minutes. And I neglected to add into that motion, item number 7, sorry about that, designation of Michael Bernard to serve as delegate, the annual business meeting of...
Nope.
What?
Item number, you're on the, show them the right agenda.
That's 8, yeah.
Okay, we saw several different... We saw several
You got
different
your corrected agenda.
agendas, so...
Yeah, we neglected to add this hearing for the budget in the set, and since we're approving the budget tonight, we figured we...
Item 7 is for purchases and contracts over 10,000.
You and I have the same one.
I just got this agenda from the corner here because I thought this would be the new agenda. There's no item 8.
The agenda was emailed to everybody on Monday. Did we put the wrong agendas out for the public to grab?
I'm looking at the last one that I
Okay.
got, so
then I also asked that we pull item 7 and make it a separate item, and that'll clarify then. You'll all find out what item 7 is.
All right, according to this agenda, I've got item 7, which is the designation of Mike as the delegate. So are we pulling that?
Is that number 7 or number 8?
It's technically number 8 now.
Technically number 8, so
Okay, then,
here, we can pull that out too.
Okay.
So just do what you've got so far, and we'll handle the others as separate.
and I have done that.
And then I'll second that.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve consent items 1 through 5,
Yes.
Okay.
and a second.
All right. Any questions or comments? Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaft.
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
I don't know what the hell I'm voting on.
These.
Commissioner Morrill.
Yes.
Commissioner Mee.
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson.
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. All right. I had asked to pull item 6, which was approval of the December 3rd, 2014 Finance Subcommittee meeting minutes. And that's because we need a correction in item 1, discussion items. The comment states that President Kelly stated that staff transferred the $433,000 that was in IMET to Illinois funds. That's an incorrect number. $433,000 is the amount of restricted money that's left in IMET, and we removed, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $12 million. So I'd like the minutes corrected to show the correct amount. You're going to have to get the number from Rita. And since she's not here tonight, I just suggest we approve
Bring
these
it back.
minutes next month.
Fine.
Everybody okay with that, or you want to? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I need a motion to table on that item number 6.
Move to
Well, should we vote on the consent? Do we vote on the consent?
We already voted on 1 through
Okay.
5. Now we're pulling 6. I want it to get retyped and sent out next month.
Ray, move to table. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, so Mike, you'll bring that one back next month. All right. Item number 7 in the agenda that was mailed out to everybody on either Sunday or Monday was purchases and contracts over $10,000 and under $20,000. And there were 2 purchases. Item 1 is to authorize staff to make purchases up to $12,000 with Titleist and up to $12,000 with Callaway at the PGA show, because we get better discounts at the PGA show. And our golf ball order and our Callaway equipment order generally run between $10,000 and $12,000. So staff is looking for pre-approval to spend more than 10 from the board. So that's one item. The second item is we have budgeted for a new beverage cart for Arrowhead, and staff believes they can get 3 quotes with bigger discounts at the PGA show than they're going to get if they just solicit locally or solicit now. So they would like approval to get 3 bids and purchase a beverage cart up to $15,000. They'd like pre-authority from us to do that. So I would like a motion to grant that authority.
So move.
Are we doing both at the same time?
Yeah, because it was one item. It was 7A and B. So, all
Okay.
right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments, or discussion? Kim?
So just in general, these types of approvals, I think, should not be in the consent agenda. I think because we're talking money, they need to come out anyway. So thanks for bringing that up, because I was going to as well. The one thing about the purchases of Titleist and Callaway that I saw in the document was that these are for purchases from December through February, over a 3-month period, or is this a 1-month period?
This is for the PGA show purchases.
Okay, but what then was in the document stating this 3-month time
Do we have
period?
anybody here? Let me find
Nobody?
it.
I can at least address,
Take a look. They're 2015. They should be 2015 purchases. So
I can at least address the fact that the item A, for example, is standard. This happens annually as they go to the PGA show, and our primary
I got it. I apologize.
manufacturers
here's
are
what it
Callaway
is.
and Titleist.
There's a pre-order period that runs from December to February where they get better discounts. They want to make the purchases at one time at the PGA show, which falls in January, I believe.
Yes, it's the latter part of January.
Okay, we're not looking every month.
No,
or-
this is just, they want to buy 10,000, or they want to spend 12,000 at the PGA show for the Titleist golf balls, which is their big selling brand, and then
Up to
Callaway
12,000.
equipment is what we buy.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaft,
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel,
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson,
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. And the last item we removed from the consent agenda was to name Mike Bernard as our delegate at the annual business meeting of the Illinois Association of Park Districts to be held at the Hyatt Regency Hotel.
So move.
Second.
Hey, anybody else want to?
Anybody want to do it? No.
Okay.
Happy?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, Mike, you're the delegate.
Fantastic.
All right. Unfinished business. Change order at Arrowhead Golf Course driving range. based on the board's authority that you gave me last month to meet with the contractor to discuss this, as it turns out, there was a note on the drawing that asked the contractor, when he started work, to verify starting and stop points with the owner. And our staff marked out the areas that were supposed to be removed. And there was some damaged areas that was more than the Manhart drawing showed. We went out, we measured it, we verified it at a meeting, and the contractor did what they were supposed to do. We unfortunately marked out a little more than we should have in one area, and it was because the area was damaged. So either our consultant didn't mark enough, but we marked a little extra. He has submitted a change order originally for $10,000, but he was claiming that he made the pass wider. Well, we didn't approve that part. We just approved the extra lineal foot. So I settled it for $8,000, and I've gone ahead and signed the change order for that. So we're looking for the board to just ratify that decision that was made. And then the other change order that came up is on the Gateway Gardens landscaping project. In the beginning of the job, we made a decision to put some sod in lieu of seed in a sloped area so it wouldn't get washed away, which was a slight add. We've deleted some work from his contract, and that was all spelled out in Rob's memo. So the net effect of the changes is that's a resulting final change order of a credit to the project of about $1,200. And we had to pour an extra piece of sidewalk that the city wanted when they came out on inspection to tie, I think it was so that people crossing the street could get to the sidewalk going up to our property, correct?
It's a roundabout way that it gets them to our property as well as Mariano.
So they wanted, instead of it being stone, they wanted it poured out and finished with the transition strip too, right? The tactile warning strip that you're approaching if you were...
For the ADA?
Right. So we used the contractor on site to pour that piece, so that was an add part of this too. Right? Does anybody... So I need a motion to approve the two change orders.
You want them singly, do you not?
Yes.
Move to approve a change order for the additional asphalt replacement from Chadwick Contracting, the amount of $8,000 regarding item number 1 under unfinished business.
Second.
All right, questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Now I need a motion on the second change order, which is a final change order, credit amount of $1,266 on the Gateway Garden Landscape Project.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Okay, any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Rob, do you have that second one? Do I have to sign that one, or? Okay, so you can just send it. All right. New business. The first item of new business is ordinance 2014-10, an ordinance adopting a combined budget and appropriation. Need a motion?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2014-10, adopting a combined budget and appropriation for such sums of money as may be deemed necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the Wheaton Park District, DuPage County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2015, and ending December 31st, 2015, and specifying the objects and purposes for which such appropriations are made and the amount appropriated for each object and purpose.
Second.
Any discussion? Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel,
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson,
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. New business item number 2, which is ordinance 2014-11, and it's the levy for 2014.
Move to approve ordinance 2014-11, ordinance levying and assessing the taxes of the Wheaton Park District of DuPage County, Illinois for the tax year 2014. I believe that, Mike, I need to read into the record the levy amount.
Yes.
According to Phil's interpretation.
in the amount of $15,531,041.
Second.
Questions? And Mike, take the roll, please.
Commissioner Vanderschaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee.
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson.
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. New business, item number 3 is ordinance 2014-12, abatement of 2014.
I'll make a motion for approve ordinance number 2014-12, abating the tax levied for the year 2014 to pay the principal of and interest on $9 million taxable general obligation bonds, also known as alternate revenue source, Series 2010 of the Wheaton Park District, DuPage County, Illinois.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mike, take the roll, please.
Commissioner Vanderschaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill.
Yes.
Commissioner Mee.
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson.
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. New business, item number 4 is signing a 3-year agreement with Pepsi Beverage Company effective February 15, 2015 through January 31st, 2018. Need a motion.
Move to approve an exclusive beverage agreement with Pepsi Beverage Company effective February 1, 2015 through January 31, 2018.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All right. Yes, Kim?
Question. So we're going 3 years again. Is there a reason why we go 3? Would 2 or 4 be more effective? Is there...
If I may, I don't believe we can legally get into a contract of this type beyond 3 years.
Okay.
As far as locking in prices are concerned, if we locked in for a shorter period of time, you'd see our cost per unit go up as opposed to down. They have guaranteed income. We have a guaranteed rebate. 3 years is the right period of time. Frankly, if we could do a 5-year, we probably would because it would drive our prices down.
We've been doing this for over 10 years now. I mean,
And it's important to note that that Pepsi was a little better through competitive bidding. Right. We can do a roll call vote. All in favor?
Take a roll.
Oh, you take a roll
Yeah.
on that? Okay.
Commissioner Vanderschaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Yes.
President Kelly?
Yes.
Thank you.
And the last item of business is approving expenses for commissioner attendance at the IPRA IAPD conference and exposition in January. A maximum cost to the district of $898 per commissioner attending. So far, nobody's contacted Mike about attending. Is there anybody that was looking to attend? I'm going to go. Mark is going. Yeah. Mark wants to go.
I make a motion to approve the commissioners to attend the IAPRA IAPD Educational Conference at a maximum of $900 per attendee.
And there's one attendee, right?
Second.
Questions, comments, or discussion? And Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel? Yes. Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Yes.
President Kelly?
Yes. Yeah, the only other unfinished business we had from last time is we'd asked for a legal opinion on the bidding. And I've gotten a couple memos back and forth with Nicole, and I still had one question on it before. But basically, it looks like the memo says we are allowed, her position right now is that we're allowed to reject the one bid from the pants by allowing the bidder to say he had a bid error, so we can reject it as a bad bid and still honor the rest of the items they were low bidder on and go to the second bidder. So I put in a call to Nicole today after I saw her memo this afternoon. I haven't heard back from her. but if she answers my question so that I don't think the board is going to have any more discussion, we'll just let staff go ahead and make that award then, based on her opinion.
That's fine.
All right. And, okay, now we have reports from staff. And as long as we're, are you doing something? So we'll just do reports from staff, and we can do commissioner comment at the same time. So if you have either, just let me know. Kim?
Can we get a little bit of clarification, Mike, around the 2013 tax levy objective narrative from the state's attorney?
Certainly, just by way of summarizing, there are objections filed intermittently on multiple years by a group of folks. I suppose most of them are lawyers, and they generate clients through offering this type of service. They file hundreds and hundreds of these every year. If we showed you the stack of, that's just our summary, but the stack of summaries is quite thick, maybe half of an inch thick. Bottom line is this happens regularly. We have one in court currently for previous years going up to 2012. And with very, very few exceptions, typically between Rita, myself, bond counsel, and corporate counsel, corporate counsel spends a little bit of time in court, and up to now we have been able to qualify all of our levies as being legal to the point that to the extent that we've put them out. In essence, some of the situations will be, as an example that I think everyone would understand very easily, we have a specific levy for, and I don't believe this one is in this particular example is in this case, but it's a good one. We have a specific levy called the 5/8 levy for individuals with special needs, handicaps, and also, so we levy that tax, and we take about half of what we levy for our annual membership in WDSRA with 8 other park districts. The other half goes to sit in a reserve for Americans with Disabilities Act compliance efforts. Now, in the past, I believe the one that's in court right now, they're saying, hey, you've accumulated a lot of money. It's not right. You're not supposed to be accumulating money. Our defense to that is we actually have a federally mandated compliance plan, which has over $1 million worth of compliance projects on it that will take place over the next decade. I don't know, Rob, maybe longer. So that is our rationale for why we are legally banking tax dollars, because the ADA is a very large unfunded mandate. We have documented and a board-approved compliance program that has more than the amount we have in the bank and expenses that will need to be undertaken to be fully compliant with the ADA. That's one example. There are many other examples. And it comes down to, in many cases, their contention on a decimal point on a levy issue. And if you would like, I have the packet up to date on the one that's currently in court. This one we'll see again, probably sometime later in 15, as Ms. Pindle at the county sorts them out. I mean, it's just basically, I think there's probably 3 full-time people working on this group's annual objections alone. I may be exaggerating, but it's a lot. So it takes them a long time to get through, and when they get to court, then you have the typical, delays that go with anything being in court, which has been going on. Which has been going on with the one that's currently in court, which is not the one you have before you as an FYI, for, 12 months. It's been delayed again to January hearing. They all get lumped together, schools and park districts and municipalities, if the judge is so inclined, because it's the same outfit filing these many hundreds of objections. And I have no stats other than on us on whether or not any of them turn out to be valid. If there is an error on some government's part and it is ruled that they did levy incorrectly, it doesn't come out as a fine. It comes out as a deduction on your next year's levy proceeds when they're distributed in June and September. I would be happy to provide a written summary that might be a little more cogent than me going from the hip right now, but I felt it was my responsibility to inform you that, this new one had come in, and it's given to you as an FYI, no action required.
Okay, thank you.
Terry?
Just a question for Mike. Mike, maybe you addressed it, but how long does it normally take for these to be settled? Year, 6 months, do we know?
As an example, the one that's currently in court, we're involved with tax year 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Okay.
And it's, what are we looking at, 2015 in a couple weeks? So, yeah, it takes time.
I had asked Mike earlier today in a phone call, if this was a complaint basically coming from the state's attorney's office, but then as I reread it, it's just simply a summary of the objections and the complaints filed with the state's attorney's office. So it appears that the state's attorney's office doesn't take a role in this at this point in time other than notification. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct. They're the ones that, their job is to sort out, kick it to the courts, and wait for the next one to come in.
Who filed the complaint?
And I made some notes last time I was talking to the person I deal with primarily at the county. I'd be happy to follow up with you on that. I couldn't give you. Essentially, what it ends up becoming is a consortium of however many businesses. It's primarily corporate Illinois that these lawyers, the law firm will send out, hey, would you like us on your behalf to send us to try to get your tax bill down through tax levy objections? So people sign on and they go from there. I reckon there's probably property owners in the Wheaton Park District boundaries that don't know that they're wrapped up in litigation with us, and they're probably supportive of us.
I believe that Speaker Madigan's firm, this is one of their primary areas.
There you go.
And I think that there are a number of firms with people here in DuPage County who represent attorney firms that do this. And I think it's every major employer in DuPage County hires them to do that every year.
Bankrupt the state, now he's bankrupting the...
Can we keep this on topic, please?
I don't care. Okay.
Okay, so
Are we done with that topic? Thank you, Mike.
I have a public opinion. I can express it. What the hell?
Mark, that's not appropriate right
It is
now.
appropriate. The guy
it is not.
bankrupting this state.
It is not appropriate. Are we finished
we
with
need
this
to
topic?
move on.
Yeah.
Commissioner comment.
I do, but I don't want to jump ahead of anybody.
Go ahead, Ray.
I've got a comment.
I'm moving ahead. I'll move ahead of you. I've got several comments, and since we're getting through this meeting really fast, I'm going to ask them. The firewood that we split, or the wood that we split and we provide to residents, how do we advertise that so the community knows that we provide this service?
It's primarily word of mouth. We do dump them at specific sites. I don't know. I think we keep an email list of people and we let them know that we have split, our next batch of 100 ash trees, and so yeah. And if it's certainly.
Can you burn that?
Oh, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
It's grown tremendously, this list,
Yeah.
Good.
over the last few years.
And then we
Well, no, I think Mark, is your question, is it safe to burn a diseased tree?
I think my more concern is that you can store that obviously has a diseased tree. I've seen piles where they say, do not take the wood. But they were.
If I may, during the era of the Asian longhorn beetle, you saw a lot of that type of quarantining. The fact of the matter is that the city and the park district, I don't know what the Forest Preserve's game plan is, are taking down every last ash tree that exists within their jurisdiction. There will be no ash trees to get infected. So it's really it's a counterintuitive and counterproductive and expensive issue to quarantine this stuff. The ash tree is gone. There will no longer be ash trees in DuPage County.
I want to hear the rest of Mark. Mark, finish your question.
No, I was more
I thought
concerned
he had
about
finished it.
if you've got a diseased tree, you take it down. I mean, I've heard that you don't want to store the material because if there are no ash trees, I guess there's nothing to protect. But there are people that are protecting their trees through treatment. And I've got a guy right behind me, a neighbor that saved his tree. Now, he's spending the money every year to keep it saved, which is considerable in itself. But I'm just thinking, by storing it, aren't you propagating whatever the problem is?
Go ahead, Larry.
Our arborist says that you're throwing your money away. You're prolonging its time, but it isn't going to save the tree.
So we're not violating, so there's no ordinances or rules against storing or burning the diseased trees? That's basically the question.
From county to county, you can't take it out.
Okay.
Okay. Always interested in the teen programming that we do. And we did a lock-in at Ackerman Park, and maybe at some point we get some follow-up on how those teen programs are going and how that went. Congratulations to Sue Walgren and the zoo staff, because everything is up. The attendance is up, the revenue is up, expenses are down, net revenue is up, the programs are up. So Sue's doing a great job, and her staff are doing a great job there. I'm glad to see the Park District working with the library. I think it's a great asset of the community that's been underutilized by us in the past. So it's nice to see that the museum is working with the library on oral history. Before I forget, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, because I will forget if I don't say it now. And I did have an opportunity to attend the Park District's all-staff meeting, I guess it was yesterday, and it's a great event. And for those commissioners who have not having an opportunity to go, if you do ever have an opportunity, go there, because it's nice to see the full-time staff and the part-time staff interacting and the awards that are given. I noticed on the back page they show the commissioners, and Mark Scholl's picture is from his high school years, and I think that needs to be updated. I think that's very misleading, especially to the voters. So we need to get that straightened out.
I think they're getting a much younger candidate, I think.
I don't think they know who they're voting for. The program reports.
So you got elected.
I've got gray hair, and I'm proud of it. I worked for this. The program reports, the Camp Pro report, Megan, is great. I appreciate it. Got a lot of good stuff in here. In regards to reducing the camp size for Camp No Name, what's going to happen in 2016 that's going to allow you to do that? Apparently, the goal is to reduce it so it's more manageable as far as numbers.
We are. We're looking to reduce it because putting grades 1 through 5 together is a big difference between our 7-year-olds and our 10, 11-year-olds. So we're looking to break it down with grades 1 through 3 and then 4 through 5, have 2 separate camp directors and assistant directors, and run it more efficiently and have more of a cohesive group. In 2016, we were exploring the ideas of having Camp I Don't Know move to an off-site location. So that would open it up for Camp No Name to be broken up into 2 different camps within the community center. So that's our grand idea, and we're hoping that that can come to fruition. So.
Good. Finally, I guess in regards to the special event report, what you want
Go ahead,
to
Rich.
jump in?
I have a question. Well, I have a question for Megan, so
Okay.
I didn't want her to have to keep jumping up and
I
down.
yield. I yield.
Megan,
Yes.
I was interested in knowing about the Extended District 200 program and what you were doing for that, because Ray was talking about the cooperation with the library, and this is cooperation with the school district.
The extended care.
The Extended District 200 school year staff was able to think creatively and develop a 3-day drop-in program to accommodate 115 campers.
Oh, that was because
At
of
various
the cold
day camp
days.
locations.
Yeah, because we had so many cold days and we had to the school district had to close. They had to extend. So what we did is we created, that first week when they were still going to school, we were able to not lose all of our camp that week. We were able to have those drop-in programs the rest of the week so that we could create that opportunity for those kids who had to go to camp or didn't have the opportunity for mom and dad to stay home, that we had that for them in a safe area. So
It's great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ray, back to you.
Back to you.
Go.
I wouldn't mind making one comment on our camps is that I don't know that if we're aware of it, but our camps are accredited by the American Camping Association, and that's due to a lot of great work by Megan and Vicki, and it's as big a deal as our zoo accreditation, and I wanted to say thank you for that hard work and that distinction.
And we need to promote that because it means a lot to parents who are going to put their kids in a program that it is a certified program. So, and special events again, if you know,
Thanks,
jump right
Megan.
in here.
Okay.
I appreciate all the special events that we. I was never a big proponent of special events, so in my tenure we didn't do a lot of them. But I do appreciate the number and the variety, and more importantly, I appreciate the partnerships that we have with all the different groups. I think that's phenomenal. It's great to see us working with Lions and Rotary and Kiwanis and Downtown Business and the Chamber, and I think that really highlights that we are an integral part of the community, and so I do appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that even though some of these events don't make money, such as music in the park. They do provide a great service to a number of people who maybe don't want to go to the more active kind of events, but would like to sit in a passive environment and just listen to music. So thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thanks, Ray.
Anybody, Terry?
Just briefly, thank you for the reports, Megan. I continue to learn through these annual reports, so I learn a little bit more about our summer camps. And I don't know who created the special events annual report. Was that you, Margie, Donna, who?
Effort.
Who did it?
The marketing and special.
Nicely done. Anyway, I was fortunate enough to be able to be involved in most of these events. So this was a nice recap on what we're doing. Looks like for 2015, the Wine and Cultural Arts event is still up in the air. Is that about the size of it? Okay, good. Anyway, I appreciated the recap. Thank you.
Anybody else? Mark?
I think I asked a while back. We never get the final numbers for the beer fest and all that. I mean,
It's in there.
where?
It's in here.
What's in that one? Okay.
Jane?
I just, and Christina, I'm going to address you because I think what the special events show is the diversity that we're trying to reach. And I noticed that in events last year, like Shakespeare, that I was seeing neighbors that I'd never seen at Park District events before come to that. And so I think with things like the Gospel Fest and the variety and the diversity of the different audiences, that's really great for the Park District to continue that and keep up the good work. And I also wanted to commend Billy Klims. Billy Klims, as most of you know, is leaving the Park District. He and his wife are moving, and they're going to have a very successful life. And he has been a great advocate for golf and for using Arrowhead Golf Course for years, and I think we're going to miss him a great deal, and we wish him the very best.
Anybody else? Okay, take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Thanks.
Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thank you, John.